All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Webheads podcast. It is me, Steven, with my co-host here, my brother.
Hello.
We are okay.
Sorry, I was distracted by something.
We are back to recording in person for the first time in a very long time. It feels like
Yeah, it's been
since at least
a month.
I want to say since May.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. We're back. We are here with Lost in Space Time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lost in Space Time,
it's a West Coast Avengers story.
West Side.
West Side? I wonder if I can switch up the theme this week and just make it like Ice Cube. I don't know. Let's get started.
Hello, hello, hello.
What have you been up to?
Oh boy, I've been reading comics left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I've been every Wednesday. I've been going to buy comics, which has been fun. I've gone to. I've been trying out different comic book shops because I'm not. I really like I said last time the one that I go to is Flying. It's called Flying Colors Comic Books or something like that. I said it was in Walnut Creek. It's actually in Concord. So I really do like that one. It's nice. It's clean. Everything's organized. But I'm not always in Concord every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this last week I went to this one in Fremont. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was cool. It's weird because I was looking for like a storefront because the pictures online, I think they might have been in a different location before. Looked like they were in like a little outdoor mall kind of thing. So when I pulled down the street and I didn't see anything like that, all I see is like kind of like warehouse
Yeah.
places. So I was like, right, maybe I passed it or something. And I go to exactly where the navigation tells me to go, and then I got out, and then I walk up and it's like this big ass warehouse door. I was like, what the fuck? And I got there right when they opened. They opened, it was like 11. I got there like 10:59. But I was just kind of like sketched out a little bit. So I tried the door, and then like it was locked, but I heard a click when I turned the thing. It was like click, and then all of a sudden the sliding door starts rolling up on the on the shop. And I was like, what is this? And then you know how like warehouse doors sometimes just take hella long to go up.
Yeah.
So like it clicks, this rolling door starts going up, but it's taking hella long. It takes like almost a minute to fully get to the top, and then I like when it starts getting up like 2-3 feet, I start looking under to see like, is anybody there? Like, what did I fuck something up? And I still don't see nobody. And then, but I can see they have comic books, like whole shelves full, and like they have a big like vintage section, for all indie comics, DC comics, Marvel stuff, and it's big, but I just didn't expect any of it. And then finally, when the door opened up, so I guess some of the regulars were there at the same time I was, so they all walked in. And they were like, "Oh," he was like calling them by name and stuff. That's kind of the cool thing about it is every time that I go to a different one, like there's always just regulars there, and then the people that work there are like, "Oh, hey Chris, hey John, what's up?" So that part's kind of cool. But I'm just buying random stuff. This week I bought the Amazing Spider-Man #4, and they're doing a little one-off run of Moongirl with different characters. So this week they had a Miles Morales and Moongirl one, and she's just running like something happens with Devil Dinosaur, and he just disappears. But she keeps picking like, for those of you who don't know, Moongirl's like super crazy smart. Like she's
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart. She's she's like a 9-year-old genius.
Yeah.
And she has this huge red dinosaur that she rolls around with. But in the story, the dinosaur just disappears one day, but she's still picking up like his energy signatures. And so in the first one, her and uh, Miles go around trying to figure out where the hell the dinosaur is at. So it's cool. It's just a little one-off series. The next one's I think the next one's the Avengers in Moon Girl, which is cool. She doesn't get enough shine, but she is in the queue at Web Slingers at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been buying. I just random stuff like that. I try to get like a couple #1 issues every week, and then I picked up like a Howard the Duck at this Fremont one the other day. I was just looking through the random vintage stuff, and they have a lot of stuff though. Kind of pricey. They had a whole bunch of like old like X-Men comics that were like $12-15 a piece. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was I signed up for the CGC or something, the comic book grading.
Oh yeah.
So it's $25 to just sign up.
Okay.
And then
Is that a year?
Yeah. There's different tiers. So like the most basic one is 25. They have other ones that are like it's a weird jump. It goes 25 to like 150 or something like that.
What the hell?
So, I signed up for the $25 one. And then like the whole process is kind of like just confusing. I signed up and I was like ready to like, like add my books in there, the ones I wanted to get graded. Because for those of you that don't know, like when you grade your comic books, that can increase the value of them, and just you can have the same book as someone next to you, but yours could be graded at a higher grade, and that could give you a more valuable book. I was thinking of just doing it just to kind of have like, it's just kind of cool to set them up that way if you wanted to like hang them, display them. They're in protected plastic, and like just showing like the grade that you get would be kind of cool. So I was going through the whole process. Yeah, I finally signed up, and then you have to pay for each book that you're submitting as well too. And I forgot how much that was. I think it was maybe like $20 a book.
Okay.
And I was like thinking, I was like, okay. So far, there's only 3 books I wanted to really submit for. But I was like, now I gotta go through my books, and hopefully I have those books in my house. Otherwise, I gotta go to my storage unit and dig through that and find those ones. So far, I haven't completed anything. But yeah, my intention was to use some of the books that I do have, because I do have like more of the I think it was like the Marvel Now era books. Have a lot of like #1s and like variant covers for those.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of maybe getting some of those ones graded. But yeah, and then I went to the comic book store by my house, Crush Comics, and I was looking for like maybe like some #1s of some stuff just to kind of get those graded as well too.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Where I was looking, I was like, damn, I don't see any. So I was like, all right, they don't have any. So I was leaving, and I think as I walked out, they have them right by the door. So I got to go back at some point this week and check them out. But I haven't read it. I haven't been reading as much as I want to. Besides, like the stories, I've kind of hit like a block in my energy where like I just hit it and then I just don't have any energy to do anything.
Yeah, I've really the stuff I've been buying in stores. I usually just read like when I have time after work or like when I get home. But like the stuff that I've been reading through the app, I usually read like when I go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's like I might get through one issue and then fall asleep. But one other one that I was reading is the new Fantastic Four. It's Wolverine, Gray Hulk, it's Gray Hulk, but they call him Joe Fixit, and Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. And it's from like, I think it was in the 70s. I want to say 76. The Fantastic Four got kidnapped by the 70s version of it. A Skrull breaks into the Baxter Building, knocks out and ties up Ben, Johnny, and Reed. Oh, and Susan. And then the Skrull turns herself into Susan, releases Reed, and then tries to get she has these powers where she can make you believe whatever she's saying, no matter what's going on. And then she convinces Reed to do all this stuff to help her find this egg that she's looking for, because it's some creature that's in the subterranean area where Mole Man is. But once the egg hatches, the first thing it sees, it's gonna attach itself to that and look at it as like its mother and do whatever they ask at that point. So that's the egg that she's looking for. So she tries to get Reed to help her do that. But when she knocked out the rest of the Fantastic Four, she couldn't find Susan at first, and then Susan found everybody else knocked out, and then sent out a signal to Ghost Rider, Hulk, all of them to come help out, which is random.
I can see Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Spider-Man's
Even
already
kinda,
there.
Yeah, even kind of Wolverine a little bit, but Joe Fixit, Ghost Rider especially.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the most random team I've ever seen. So that was the 70s version, and then the new ones that they're coming out with are supposed to be like a continuation of what happens after that event. So they're going on now. All of a sudden, they're in Las Vegas. they all had this thought in their head that, oh, I should go to Vegas, and then traveled to Vegas.
Yeah, I haven't been reading much, but I've been watching a lot of comic book, stuff. Miss Marvel obviously has been going.
It's been good.
It's been good. I like it. I like her. I think we talked about it on last week's episode, but just like her nuanced, like little like facial movements and like just the faces she makes.
Yeah.
Really ties it into like I'm watching like just like a regular kid.
Yeah.
She's not pretending to be a kid. Like this is somebody who's like truly just like that's just how she is.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the show a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I've also been watching The Boys. That's been pretty wild these past couple weeks, and the Umbrella Academy has been pretty good. Have you watched that one?
I made it through a couple episodes in the first season, but I haven't ever gone back to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's that. And have you watched The Boys?
No, not yet. I'm just gonna wait.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm still I'm still on the road to finish these animated shows, and right now I'm on Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is surprising. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm in the second season of that, and yeah, that's all I've been watching really. With my free time, like I said, I've been reading comics. So I haven't. When I get home, I haven't really been watching anything. Yeah, no, these shows, I took on a lot doing this. I shouldn't have done this, but now I have to finish. There's so many. I keep avoiding the season because I have like how many episodes are in each season, so I can kind of like, do I want to start like a 5-season thing? And then every time I finish a new show, I'm like, oh, maybe I should start that one. And I realize that it's 127 episodes. Yeah, I'll save that one. And then it happens every time. But I made the mistake of knocking out all the it was only one season, 12 episodes. Like I've knocked out most of those. And then I'm also getting to the point where I'm probably going to have to start paying to watch some of these things because not all of them are on Disney Plus.
Oh.
So
you should have just set the stipulation. You're only watching the ones on Disney Plus.
So I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that I'm going to bootleg those shows, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
I hear the one I remember. I didn't watch it continuously when it was out, but I watched a few episodes. Spectacular Spider-Man. That's like everyone's favorite Spider-Man show.
Maybe I'll do that one next.
Yeah, and I think it only lasts maybe like 2 seasons.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. All right, and yeah, we're gonna get into the story this week. This week we got, like I said, a West Coast Avengers story, which
if you guys didn't know, the West Coast Avengers is like, what can we compare it to? It's like, I mean, I guess it's just exactly what it is. It's the event. Think of the Avengers as like the A team, like top of the line, like world saving team, and then think of the West Coast Avengers as sort of like the spin-off. Oh, think of it like a TV show or like a movie. The Avengers is like the big blockbuster movie.
Mm-hmm.
The West Coast Avengers is like the spin-off TV show.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller, still the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Still some of the same players
Yeah.
from the original team.
but just a smaller scale.
Yeah.
And on this team, we have Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
We got Mockingbird, Bobby Morse, an ex-SHIELD agent.
Mm-hmm.
We have Hawkeye, everyone's favorite archer. Wonder Man, Simon Williams. He is it's kind of convoluted, but he was an actor, got superpowers, died, came back to life. His brainwaves were used in the creation of Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's come up in a few stories that we've done.
And then we have Tigra,
Mhm.
Tigra, however you want to pronounce it. Like super strong, super agility, normal powers, but she sort of looks like a humanoid tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tigra of the famous Chippendale Rescue
Yeah.
Rangers. that threw me off so much when I saw her.
I know that was such like from like the most random Avengers cartoon.
Yeah. And it was just so funny to me too, because I had just finished watching that show, and I was like, "What the hell is she doing here?"
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched Chippendale Rescue Rangers on Amazon or Disney Plus,
Yeah, the live action one,
great movie.
great, funny as hell.
And then we also have some supporting characters, Hank Pym, as you guys know, Ant-Man, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We have some, there's some other supporting characters. These are more like the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a group of like desert-themed villains called the Desert Dwellers. There's Cactus, Gilla, Butte, and Sunstroke. And they work for someone named Dominus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget about my guy. Two Gun shows up.
Oh, yeah. He shows up as well. So if you guys haven't caught on, this is sort of going to be an issue that takes place in a hot area, desert area. All right. So to start off, the Avengers fly out to Albuquerque because they've been wanting to add a sixth member to the team. And they have someone in mind named Firebird. And so they fly out there, and they leave Hank behind. But recently he's been having some sort of mental issues.
Yeah.
And so they don't realize how suicidally despondent he's become. But they're just like, yeah, you're fine. Just hang out here.
Just hang out here.
You got popcorn and TV. You're fine.
Just take some time off.
So when the team gets to Albuquerque, they find out that Firebird's been missing for over a month. And so they start their searching process, and they pull up more information from around town. And then they're ambushed by the group, the Desert Dwellers.
Desert Dwellers.
There's Sunstroke, who can fly and generates heat.
Mm-hmm.
She claims to be a human using his powers, devising. Wait, what did I say? Human using powers of his own devising, but explains that his teammates Butte, Gilla, and Cactus are merely artificial humans. So they were probably just lizards that they turned into humans. I don't know why you would have to explain that to everybody, but they were all created by Dominus. So the Avengers gain the upper hand, but that as they do so, a mysterious force grabs the Desert Dwellers and whisks them away from the battle. Iron Man tracks them down to a base hidden in the mountains in Arizona and recognizes that the uniform of the Desert Dwellers bossed inside as belonging to the alien Lucifer. Ooh.
I thought he was a devil.
Dominus explains that Lucifer was his predecessor and that he won't fail in his inherited mission to enslave the world. To get the Avengers out of his way, as soon as they enter his chamber, Dominus activates the time platform, also Doctor Doom's time platform, if you guys are aware of that.
It's broken.
Also seen in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Reed Richards uses it to...
Teleports right in there.
Yes. To get the Avengers out of the way, Dominus activates the time platform, a damaged one that of Doctor Doom's creation. yeah, so Dominus is pretty confident that he's trapped the Avengers in the distant past now. So he's like, you guys are out the way.
Yeah, because the time machine's broken, and it only goes backwards in time.
Yeah. And he's like, there's literally no other Avengers teams that I've ever heard of that can stop me if they need to. So the TV squad is stuck in the past now. We cut back to Hank Pym, and Hank spends the day setting accounts and prepping to kill himself. Sorry.
Yes.
Trigger warning. Just as he's holding his gun to his head, he's interrupted by a sudden appearance of Bonita, also known as Sunspot? Fire Spot? Sunstroke. No. Firebird. Sorry. Just as, he's interrupted, now bearing the identity of La Esperita, who brings him the message of hope from God. So now we're getting into a little bit of a spiritual...
Now we're getting into the religious aspects.
And just to let you guys know, this is following the West Coast Avengers number 17 through 24, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we just covered number 17, Hold for Wind Blowing. And we're good?
I think so.
Okay. Number 18. Sorry, the app that I use has just been very finicky lately. So the Avengers arrive in the Arizona desert, but this is the Arizona desert of 1876. Wow. That's the past, if you guys don't know.
That's like 200 years before, or 100 years before.
And they realize this is not good. The time platform that they came back with is broken, if you guys don't remember from the last issue, and can only travel backwards in time. So anywhere they go, they're just going to keep going back and back and back. Iron Man thinks he might be able to fix it with the parts from another time machine, though while he's looking at it, Wonder Man is trying to horn in and one-up him. So this whole time they've been on who's going to be the leader.
They're basically just having a dick swinging contest. This whole story, it's like, oh no, I can do all this. I could have figured out how to fix this time machine. Okay, then why didn't you do it? Yeah, Iron Man is just like, oh yeah, I can fix everything that we need to fix, and Wonder Man is doing the same thing, but also just like, I don't have to take this. I'm a fucking Hollywood star.
I mean, realistically, Iron Man should be the leader.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be Hawkeye.
I wouldn't pick Hawkeye to be the leader, even if this is the West Coast Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't know why Tony took took a step back here and was just like, I'm on the West Coast. I'm chilling now. There can't be nearly enough violence and danger over here. Let Hawkeye handle it.
It's where were we?
Even Hank could have done it.
Yeah, and then so while they're arguing about that, the team soon realizes that nearby in the town they hear some sounds involving Hawkeye's old ally, Two Gun Kid, Rawhide Kid, and the Phantom Rider. Why are people in Old West always named Kid?
I don't know.
So
I'm a grown adult. I'm 37. Why are you calling me? First of all, don't call me the Rawhide Kid. Second of all, I am not a kid. I haven't been a kid for 20 years at this point.
And so the Avengers join up with the Western heroes to take on an alliance of many of their villains, including the Iron Mask, Hurricane, Rattler, Red Raven, Dr. Danger, the Fat Man, and the Living Totem. During the adventure, the Phantom Rider takes a powerful liking to Mockingbird. Wonder Man takes the time platform to Two Guns blacksmith specialist. And Boom Boom, the blacksmith specialist, his name is Boom Boom Brown.
Not to be confused with Boom Boom from the Secret Wars 2.
Yeah. Or
the X-Men.
Not to be confused with an accident that you may have had after eating too much Taco Bell.
No. But it's probably fitting for that guy to be called Boom Boom Brown.
So he takes the time machine to Boom Boom, but unfortunately he's not able to make much progress on repairing it. Gee, I wonder why.
Oh.
I've never seen any electrical circuitry in my life, and you
It's
expect me to
1876. What parts did you think that he was gonna have just laying around? You thought that he had like a circuit board somewhere?
I got this. I don't know what to use it for, but I guess this is a good thing to use it for.
Here, why don't you try this mysterious thing that fell out of the sky?
And so Wonder Man then makes the suggestion to go even further back in time, specifically to ancient Egypt of Ram and Tut, where they can get access to his own time machine. Hawkeye agrees to the risky proposition, though, to test their control with the shorter jump, Simon first sets the dial back just 100 years. However,
Just a small 100 years.
that just seems worse.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're going to go from here to Egypt. That's all we need to do.
Yeah. So my thing is like, if it just set it to Egypt,
Yeah.
right? Because like you're already stuck in time and you can't go forward. The worst thing that's gonna happen, like you're already stuck.
Yeah.
The worst thing that's gonna happen is if you don't make it out of the situation, which sucks. But you're stuck in time. you're literally stuck in time. You can't go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
So your best shot is to just fucking swing for the fences and go for it. Like, just do it.
And so they set it back 100 years. However, just as the platform activates, Phantom Rider attacks, knocking out and grabbing Mockingbird before anyone can stop him. The remaining 4 Avengers are stuck, headed back a century, and in the present day, Esperita talks Hank down from his suicide attempt.
Real quick, Phantom Rider smacked the crap out of Mockingbird and knocked her out. He didn't just like knock her out with like a little gas or something. He smacked the shit out of her, and then yanked her off the time portal.
They were back in the day, comics were very not graphic, but just like they didn't pull their punches.
No,
Like
they kind of,
literally.
and especially for this, like, what the Comic Code Authority was not. You can tell that was not like a real thing, because how did that people have to put the parental advisory sticker on their CDs at that point? But you could still get away with smacking a woman clear across the face, and then kidnapping her in a kid's comic book.
Hey, it's all cartoon, guy.
This isn't real. Neither is this rap music. Dr. Dre wasn't shooting any of these people.
All right, so on to issue number 19. Hawkeye, Iron Man. Is it Tigra or Tigra? I think it's Tigra because that makes more sense as she looks almost like a tiger. Tiger.
Yeah, in the show they call her Tigra.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Tigra. And Wonder Man end up in the Arizona region of 1776. So if you guys remember, back 100 years.
Yeah.
And Clint is in the midst of a panic at Phantom Rider grabbing Mockingbird away at the last second, stranding her 100 years in the future. The others calm him down, reminding him that Bobby can take care of herself and that the best hope is reaching their destination to get a properly functioning time machine and then rescue her in time and not have to worry about the whole issue. Basically completing the paradox.
Yeah.
Before they can worry about it, they're ambushed by a cavalry of Spanish soldiers. During the ensuing battle, Wonder Man pulls a stunt of grabbing a bunch of soldiers' guns and crushing them in his invulnerable arms. But that causes an explosion that not so invulnerable Hawkeye gets caught up in, injuring him badly. That was so...
He's got to know his limits.
That's how this man shouldn't be on the team.
No.
He's too cocky. It's like in the TV shows when like the guy who plays a cop on TV is like on a ride along with a cop. He's like, oh yeah, this is like episode 6. I remember this.
Yeah.
But it's real life, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's like that's exactly what the premise of that was that movie with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube? Ride Along? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I do this in video games all the time.
Speaking of Kevin Hart, I realize a lot of his comedy like team up movies are him being the overly confident, like short, funny guy.
Yeah.
He plays the same character in all
Every
of
time.
his movies.
And you just need somebody that looks meaner than him
Yep.
to be the other person.
Have you seen that movie that he's in, The Man from Toronto?
That's the one on Netflix?
Yeah, him and
No,
Woody
not yet.
Harrelson. That's exactly what it is. It's Woody Harrelson being taller and looking scarier than Kevin Hart.
Oh man.
All right, so Hawkeye's injured. The Avengers flee to a nearby cave, but the Spanish see them go there, so they just let them go, but they're still following.
Mm.
A Spanish missionary named Carlota Valdez follows them and offers them medicine, bearing no ill will to them despite the assumption that they represent English spies. Hawkeye starts to recognize Carlota. What did I say, Carlota?
Carlota is what you said.
And her stories as the woman from Firebird's vision. And upon questioning, she reveals that she had a similar vision of Firebird / Esperita and the other people that looked much like the Avengers. So they have this sort of mind link vision thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
What is?
They're using a leaf blower.
Yeah, so Hawkeye doesn't want to tell her everything he knows, particularly about Firebird's vision, suggesting that she's going to die. But he gets an idea on how to take advantage of the meeting with Bonita's ancestors. He breaks off the head of an inkjet arrow to write a message on the shed of cloth and writes, "Bonita, we are lost in time. Contact FF. Tell them we're trying for Ramatut, Egypt. Hawkeye." And has Carlota keep the message somewhere safe. In 1876, by chance, in the same cave, Phantom Rider brews a special Kamoche herbal potion to administer to the unconscious Mockingbird. So he's whipping up some drink. Hey girl, welcome to my cave. Let me make you a special drink.
Here, have a drink real quick. You perv, you creep.
And so when she awakes, she forgets all about who she was and where she is. But all she knows is that she loves the rider as much as he loves her. Yeah. So it's basically just a love potion.
Mm-hmm.
Rawhide Kid and Two Gun Kid are tracking him down and bring him to justice. But now with Mockingbird on his side, Phantom Rider defeats them. As Slade and Bobby prepare to head out to a new hiding place, Bobby trips on the discarded old inkjet arrow in the same cave and feels something familiar about it. She decides to keep it as a souvenir. So last I left off, Bobby trips over the arrow that Hawkeye left in the cave to use to write the note.
Yeah.
Back in the present, Esperita gets Hank to go work through his depression by having him demonstrate the use of his pin particles, which start to remind him of the stimulation his stimulation he finds in science. As they call it a day, they walk by Bonita's family's Bible, which she brought with her home on her visit from the West Coast Avengers compound. As they pass it, they fail to notice that the cloth sticking out of the pages with a certain message written on it. So this
the
is
one that Hawkeye left.
Yeah.
So it also traveled time then.
Yeah. If they would just notice, then they can get help. But we know that's not going to work out. That's the end of that issue. Next issue, we're in 1776. The Avengers fly from the American West towards Egypt. They're just... I don't know why. I guess so. The time platform only moves you.
The platform
space.
it only moves into
time,
space and
not
not
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just going to keep ending up in the same spot, but in the past.
Yeah.
And so now they have to fly towards Egypt, but they make their first stop over in Philadelphia to get Hawkeye some medical attention following his injuries from the past issue.
They made him fly all the way from Arizona to Philly just for medical attention.
You can stop anywhere else.
There's so many places that you could have stopped at this point. I mean, yeah, it's 1776 at this point?
Yeah.
I still can guarantee you pass 15 doctors on the way there. Guaranteed.
And since it's July, they barely miss Doctor Strange and Clea hanging out with Benjamin Franklin. It's apparently their friends. They continue across the Atlantic Ocean and over Europe until they reach the Sphinx in Egypt. They clash briefly with Ottoman soldiers that are missed there for some reason while Wonder Man sets up the time platform. As soon as they jump back to 2020 BC and are immediately attacked by Egyptian soldiers, they're preparing for the pharaoh's burial rites. Oh, okay. So they because you move through time but not through space, you got to fly to Egypt and then use a platform. It's almost like an elevator. You got
because it's only going backwards. It can't.
Yeah. So you got to go down the elevator, walk across the building, go down the
Go
other
down
elevator.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
It's like that mini game in Mario Party. You got to go through the doors, and then it either takes you to a different door or you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's funny that, like, I don't know, I guess it's just comic book writing, but, like, comic book writers, sometimes they just, oh yeah, you guys don't need to know how it happened, just know that it happened.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, all right, we got to make them go here to here and then use a platform to get there. It's like, that's just like that little bit of, like, writing, you know.
I hate it.
So they clash briefly with the soldiers. Wonder Man sets up the time platform, and soon they jump back to Egypt. The Egyptian soldiers are preparing for the Pharaoh's burial rites. And after a quick fight ends, the Pharaoh's high priest, Shamaz, recognizes that the Avengers as the time travelers and is able to talk to them in English. Samaj explains that the Pharaoh will be entering into suspended animation the next day and that he destroyed his own time machine 17 years earlier. He reluctantly tells them that takes them into the pyramid to talk to the Pharaoh, but Ramatut is preparing his mind to suspend an animation by entering a trance. He isn't very coherent or helpful, and he only mutters random words that find more help during later passages.
Yeah.
So Ramatut is King, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you guys don't know, King travels back in time because he's bored and just decides to become a pharaoh. And
that's kind of tight, though. If I could do that, I would. But hold on real quick. Have you ever thought of the fact that they flew from Arizona or whatever West Coast state they're in to Philly? Like, how fucked up, like, the people that they flew over were after they saw that there's, like, 5 people flying over their heads in 1776.
Yeah.
And one of them was made of metal.
The people who seen them were definitely called witches. And
yeah, they got burned at the stake after that. For sure. All of them. In multiple states.
Yeah, the Avengers are causing more problems than helping. So, yeah, he reluctantly takes him to the pyramid to talk to the Pharaoh, but he's going into his trance. Hawkeye is growing increasingly frustrated negotiating their way through in spite of his injuries and starts to collapse from fever. His teammates assure him that they can get through all this on his behalf and that he should just rest. Clint relents and assigns Iron Man as interim chairman just before falling unconscious, which irks Wonder Man, who has been competing with Tony for status. They activate the time platform once more to jump back to 2940 BC, when they are immediately shot by then nefarious Ramatut. In August of 1776, so now we're going forward, but also in the past. A month after parting ways with the Avengers, Carlota Valdez is traveling across California with her mission when her coach is attacked by Indians, or Native Americans.
Thank you.
She joins the battle but gets shot in the back. Before she dies, she makes her chaperone.
Just talked about this.
She makes her chaperone promise to guard the message she took from Hawkeye. In 1776, Phantom Rider takes Mockingbird back. Yeah, in 1876, Phantom Rider takes Mockingbird back to Lincoln Slade's hometown of Lordsburg to start a new life with her. As she changes into her new local dress, she decides to wear the old arrowhead she found as a necklace, a choice that Slade doesn't know that to make of sense, he recognizes the head of something of Hawkeye's use. While they settle in, Rawhide Kid and Two Gun Kid are still on their trail. And in the present, Esperita continues to help Hank rekindle his passion for science by having him go over his expertise in robotics, a subject that Hank isn't eager to get back into since he created the murder bot Ultron. As they head into the lab, they again just barely miss Hawkeye's message peeking out from the pages of the Bible. It's like they're actively trying to avoid it. And then, so that's the end of that issue. Next issue. In Egypt in 2940 BC, the evil Ramatut has shot the Avengers with a paralyzing ray. Somehow, despite their costumes and varied appearances, he can't tell the difference between them and the Egyptian natives to that time, and just accuse them of being rebel spies. Confident that they will die from his weapon, he has them taken to a nearby temple for burial. Burial. Why can't I read today?
Or I don't know. You keep wanting to say burial.
Because it's BUR. The temple they arrive in happens to be one dedicated to the one and only Khonshu.
All right.
While they lie paralyzed on the temple floor, the feverish Hawkeye has a vision in which he comes face to face with Khonshu, who explains that he aims for vengeance against Rama Tut and will use the Avengers as his agents. That its hypnotic influence over Rama Tut from recognizing them as non-natives, so he's the reason why he didn't see them as superheroes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye pleads his case for some extra divine intervention. He wants to return to his own time, but Khonshu's methods can't be too direct. Instead, Khonshu agrees to help deliver a message to someone from their time that can help. The Avengers come to, and Hawkeye's fever breaks. His burns are healed, and Clint voices his thanks to Khonshu, just as the god disappears. In 1876, Mockingbird is starting to shake off the effects of the Phantom Rider's potion, just as the Rawhide Kid and Two Gun Kid catch up on their trail. With Bobby alone, Two Gun Kid confronts her dressed as Hawkeye, hoping to jostle her memories. She fights him at first, but one more look at the arrowhead necklace she's wearing brings her memories flooding back. She rides off with Rawhide Kid and Two Gun wanting to kill Phantom Rider for what he did to her. In 1776, Carlota Valdez's funeral ends with her parents and chaperone deciding to return to Mexico with her Bible. 70 years later, in 1847, Cuidad Corazon, a young rebel... Oh, in 17...
Real quick while you're stumbling over your words. Hawkeye put that message in the Bible like in 1776 or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that all of her ancestors or family going forward left that note in there without looking at it and saying, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Is amazing. Because I can't keep track of shit.
It's like everyone's actively trying not to look at this message.
Like, like it's not their message to look at, so just, oh, nope.
And so a young Isabel Ramirez enters the local mission wanting to read the Bible at the altar. The padre forbids peasant hands from touching it, but she sneaks to look anyways. When she finds the English note inside, she's hit with a vision that prompts her to steal the Bible back for her own family. And in the present day, Moon Knight is hit with the vision of Khonshu that drives him from Frenchie, his friend Frenchie, and has him to fly him to California as soon as possible. At the Avengers compound, Hank and Espy, I'm going to keep calling it Espy.
Sure, whatever works best, man.
Put the finishing touches on a new robotic creation, Rover, a flying mini vehicle with AI of a talking dog. A solution that Hank hopes will make up for the previous mistakes of making killer robots.
Yeah. So you made an AI with the intelligence of a dog. Okay.
Sorry for your family's loss. Here's a robotic dog.
You guys remember that like commercial comes on? Remember that killer robot that killed half of your family last year? We got a brand new thing for you guys.
From the guy who brought you the killer robot. Robot dog.
No, this is a moving vehicle. Here's the Rover, your talking vehicle. Not as smart as Ultron, but it's good enough. Why? You don't have to do this.
He also tests out his new, more practical application for pin particles, shrinking and storing inanimate objects like tools and weapons, rather than hazardously using it on his own body. With new innovations, Hank Pym is ready to return to adventuring, not as a costume superhero, but as a plainclothes Dr. Pym. He and Bonita share a passionate kiss to celebrate his new lease on life. And back in New Mexico, Dominus wonders if he's truly seen the end of the Avengers.
He started to question it. He's like, yeah, I sent them back in time with the time machine that only goes backwards. But is there a way they can come back?
It's kind of too late to be thinking about
Yeah.
that. All right, and then on to issue number 21. Oh, no, sorry, that was 22. Okay. So part 6. In 1876, Mockingbird, Two Gun Kid, and Rawhide Kid ride into Lordsburg looking for Lincoln Slade. The Phantom Rider is already onto them, however, and lures them out into his territory where he can fight them using only his illusionary tricks. Mockingbird sees through all of them, and easily and together with Rawhide and Two Gun, they force Phantom Rider to run. Going back further to 2940 BC, the priests of Khonshu direct the revived Avengers to a hidden path of Rama-Tut's base. Inside, they catch a glimpse of Doctor Strange also visiting Time Frame for dubious reasons, but they're soon too busy fighting Rama's guard robots to help Strange deal with his own robots. They also spot a monitor screen showing. So they spot monitor screens in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Showing Rama torturing a young Fantastic Four.
There's a lot of things here that I have questions about.
With
I'll hold it.
their fellow time travelers just out of reach, the Avengers instead focus on what they came for: time machine parts to help them return to their own time. Unfortunately, they're so besieged by Rama-Tut's defenses that they're unable to gain anything useful before their concurrent adventure ends, with the facility being destroyed and every other time traveler leaving without noticing them. In 1917 Mexico, a much older Isabel Ramirez shows her granddaughter, Chita, the family Bible she has hidden in the tree after stealing it back from the local church. While she's revealing the Bible, a nearby rope bridge collapses, endangering a boy named Benito Juarez. Isabel pulls the boy to safety, though the strain causes her own heart to give out. Chita decides to honor her grandmother by cherishing the Bible that was her inspiration. So in present day, Hank and Bonita return to Avengers Compound after taking Rover out for a spin, only to be greeted by a trespassing Moon Knight. Hank takes the opportunity to try out his combat skills using his resized gimmicks in his pocket, but Moon Knight isn't there to mess around. He's there to point them in the direction of the Avengers. Finally realizing that the other Avengers are lost in time, they race to contact the FF but find they're too late. Reed Richards explains that Dominus desert dwellers have already arrived and destroyed their time platform.
Wait, you forgot to mention that Moon Knight finally pointed them to the note in the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
After only 300 years, somebody finally got the note.
Read this.
He's like, go check out the note in your Bible. She's like, what are you talking about? I've never seen that thing there.
The note that my family's been passing up for all these generations.
You mean my bookmark?
And then, so on to issue number 23. So, in the present, Hank, SB, and Moon Knight take Rover all the way to New York to the headquarters of Fantastic Four. There, they examine the wreckage of the time machine destroyed by Dominus. Hank and Reed begin putting the pieces back together while the thing lugs heavy chunks of machinery all over the place. That's all he's ever really good for when Reed's there.
Reed's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Like all the time. He doesn't pay attention to anybody around him.
Yeah, he gets so tied up in his work that he just really doesn't care about what anybody
It's odd
has
that
going
Sue.
on.
Yeah, it's odd that Sue stayed as long as she has.
Yeah.
But there's multiple universes where she's gone. And, yeah. She gives up. Shouldn't stick around for that.
Yeah, they should get divorced and just be friends.
Yeah.
All right. Back to 2940 BC. The Avengers now only have one chance left to get home: Doctor Strange. But first, they must fight through another legion of soldiers loyal to Rama-Tut, the priest of Khonshu, and those formerly enslaved by Rama. Assist the Avengers, and they battle their way through Rama-Tut's court back to the Sphinx. By the time they get through all of it, though, they learn that Doctor Strange had already escaped and returned home. But Hawkeye still succeeded in keeping his promise to Khonshu by aiding the overturn of Rama-Tut by delaying Rama's guards from imprisoning Doctor Strange's body. They allowed Strange to separate his astral self and use his magic to transform the Thing back into a human, allowing him to slip free of his bonds and try to free the rest of the team. if you guys don't remember, the Fantastic Four are also back in time and free the rest of the Fantastic Four. At which point, the Fantastic Four have forced Rama-Tut to flee into the time stream. Back in 1876, Mockingbird decides to track down the Knight Rider alone. Racing on a horse through a perilous rainstorm, she finds the rider floating above Spirit Peak. She begins fighting him, but the rider continues to profess his love for her. Mockingbird batters him back with her battle stay. She forces him back over a cliff. The Knight Rider manages to grip the edge of the cliff, but begs Mockingbird to rescue him. Bobby has plenty of time to save the Knight Rider's life, but chooses to let him lose his grasp and fall to his death. The decision will haunt her for many years to come.
I mean,
In the present, Hank and Reed complete the repairs on the time machine along with Moon Knight and SB. They travel back to ancient Egypt to the year 2940. They pick up the rest of the Avengers and then travel forward to Lordsburg, New Mexico in 1876 to pick up Mockingbird. And then one final trip forward through time and everyone's finally home. And it's all because Hawkeye's enduring 200-year notes. I saw Mockingbird and Hawkeye, and I just...
Are you shipping the two of them?
I mean, they did get married at some point.
I mean, they did. They're in a relationship here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not too far off.
Mockingbird.
And then the last issue 24. Dominus and his minions are near completion on the master machine that will enslave the world. Confident that his gambit to trap the Avengers in the past was flawless, he's therefore quite shaken when the Avengers suddenly attack. Dominus sends his desert dwellers out to stop them, including dozens of duplicates of the artificial members, Butte, Gilla, and Cactus. With the team bolstered by Dr. Pym, SB, and Moon Knight, the Avengers easily gain the upper hand on the henchmen. Sunstroke, the one human of the desert dwellers, knows when to fall back and flies up to the shaft of the tower silo where Dominus awaits. The Avengers follow, and as they near the top, they are confronted by the costume man they believe to be Dominus. The man takes the moment to explain that he's actually just a vessel through which Dominus speaks. While his race created the master machine to enslave lesser races, they didn't count on becoming enslaved themselves. Dominus is the master machine, and at that moment, he's all around them, and the Avengers follow, and as they near the top, they're confronted by... Oh, sorry. I screenshotted this, and I was trying to screenshot enough onto the screen to get there. Dominus is the master machine, and at the moment, he's all around the Avengers built into the walls of the upper levels of the silo. Dominus blasts the Avengers with its mind-enslaving rays, completely immobilizing them, and then dismisses Sunstroke to another assigned location. As Dominus' vessel walks to the machine controls, gloating his victory, he doesn't notice Moon Knight walk up and clock him. Not understanding how his enemy could still be moving, he blasts Moon Knight again, but again Moon Knight shakes it off and pushes forward. Dominus panics and is unable to comprehend how someone could resist his power, and its inability to resolve the paradox soon causes the entire machine, and by extension the base, to rumble and burst into flames as it begins to collapse. So Moon Knight just literally broke this machine just by...
Yeah, well, because what happened was Dominus was able to stop everybody else because he sent out the brainwave or whatever it was. And then he did it. He saw Moon Knight was still going, so he did it again. And then he kept going. And then he's like, what the hell is going on here? But it's because Moon Knight's created those multiple personalities in his head. So, but he only had the 3. So he was like, I'm glad he didn't do it a third time, because if he did, then it would have been over. So it works out.
So the base is crumbling. Moon Knight wisely keeps quiet about how Dominus really was enslaving his minds, but with his multiple personalities to spare. The Avengers are freed from the effects of the machine and are able to escape the collapsing mountain. As it does, they see the core of Dominus' machine blast off into space on a rocket. The flyers of the team try to pursue it, but when Wonder Man's jet stalls in the upper atmosphere, Iron Man breaks off to rescue him from the fall. Wonder Man is hardly grateful, arguing that his invulnerability would have saved saved him from the fall, and it was more important to catch Dominus. Nonetheless, the day is saved even though Dominus and Sunstroke escaped. Later, as the Avengers finally return home, Wonder Man is ambushed by his producer's assistant, who's finally able to inform him that everyone hates his new costume. And that's the end.
Oh boy, let's see.
A lot of time travel.
Yeah,
A lot of
it honestly wasn't a bad story.
no.
There's some plot points that I think should have took some time to figure out, and so I definitely feel like they rushed this. Yeah, I think, like I told you before, I think it falls into like that. I don't think that these are always meant to be read in a week like we do. So I think they're kind of counting on people not remembering some of the stuff, like the smaller things.
Yeah.
But when you read through a 9-story arc in a week, it's like, what are you talking about? You guys just said that this was going on, or like that doesn't make any sense. So it kind of falters there. But I don't know. It wasn't a bad story.
No, I actually like the time travel aspect of it, and like how they were just going back in time, and like it wasn't that they were just traveling just in time just to travel, but like that they can only go backwards. So that it made it a little bit more harrowing. Like, are they going to make it back? Obviously they would, but like, how are they going to make it back if they can only go backwards?
So what are you giving it?
I give it a house explosion.
All right, I'm just gonna check this first.
I give it a boom boom brown.
There we go. Do I want to give it one? Yeah. I thought it was good. I said enough. It was good. But yeah, that was it. That was Lost in Space Time, West Coast Avengers story, everybody's favorite Avengers. And yeah, that's it. We will be back next week with another story that I can't remember is going to happen, but it's there. Something's happening.
We'll be back.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for coming back again. Remember to share this with your friends, your family, somebody, your coworkers. Just tell somebody to press play on it, please. And then even if you think somebody doesn't give a shit about it, just tell them to check it out.
Yeah.
And if I find out that you heard about it and you didn't share it with somebody, I'll fight you. I'm going to have to edit out one of those.
Yeah. Probably the first one.
Probably. The joys of podcasting. All right, guys. We will talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Bye.